Hello? No protection, no second chances, only the crashing of fate. Are you ready to face 30 of the most brutal falls ever recorded on camera? Please share your perspective in the comments so we can discuss it together. And if you appreciate authentic footage of the wild world, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. It wasn't a jump for survival, but a desperate attempt to escape the clutches of a predator closing in from behind. Nature is cruel, forcing these tiny creatures to gamble their lives in the vast emptiness for a slim chance of survival. Beneath the frigid peaks of the Himalayas, every step along the cliff face is a fragile line between survival and extinction. When a snow leopard and a mountain goat plunge into the abyss, it's no longer a hunt, but the cruel reality of gravity. After crashing against the hard rock, will life have a chance to begin again? High in the trees, a wildcat and a squirrel engage in a battle of wits, where every move is a gamble. As both plunge into the air, a sudden fall occurs. Could this be a tragedy of nature? Amidst the dense forest canopy, the black bear's fall is a devastating testament to the fragile boundary between life and death. Though master climbers, they still face the relentless force of gravity, a consequence of territorial disputes or the drowsiness from human sedation. Nature leaves no room for error. This is a disturbing reality of urbanization. When migration routes are cut off by asphalt and headlights, large animals like deer often become disoriented, leading to serious falls and collisions. can we protect them from these deadly paths? A whale's death is not the end, but an eternal miracle at the bottom of the deep ocean. In the dark depths, the whale's carcass becomes a feast of life, nourishing the ecosystem for centuries. A death that revives the entire deep sea. Are you an ocean explorer, and have you ever conquered these creatures? The paradise snake doesn't choose freefall. Instead, it actively transforms its body into a veritable wing. By contracting its abdomen and spreading its ribs to create a flattened shape, it glides through the air using aerodynamic lift. Have you ever witnessed a legless creature defying gravity to soar through the air like this? In an instant, the two eagles locked their talons together, plummeting at incredible speed. The calm surface of the lake was suddenly torn apart by the violent impact. When the foam subsided, the river remained silent as if nothing had happened. Did they manage to release their grip and fly away? Or was that icy surface the final destination of their confrontation? The life or death fall of newborn birds is one of nature's most brutal tests. To protect their young from predators on the ground, guillemots and barnacle geese often choose to build their nests on sheer cliffs, hundreds of feet high. A risky leap, a violent fall, but that's the price to pay to begin their journey through life. The poor moose, often forced to wander in search of food, cross ancient migration routes where the Canadian Pacific Railway runs through the majestic Rocky Mountains in Banff, gradually turning into a death trap. The loss of the tracks doubles from 15 to 40 each year, so is the attraction of falling grain worth more than life? AI integrated fence sensors on trains detect animals like goats and activate sound to scare them away, reducing accidents by 70%. In India, Madurai has recorded success with almost zero collisions. In addition, AI camera under rail walkways are also effective. If you think any country needs to apply this measure, please leave a comment to help improve this situation. Donkeys are hardy draft animals, constantly on the move in search of pasture, so they easily stray onto the tracks of the Northeast Frontier Railway, where trains speed by. Why are people so careless? Farmers are not fully aware of the dangers that can lead to donkey tragedy. A reminder that one moment of inattention can cost you your property. In Utah, train collisions have claimed 5 to 10% of the cattle herd, less than 20 to 25% due to disease, but clearly lacks management, weak fences and wandering cattle. Trains do not malfunction but take calves, pushing up meat and milk prices. Cow carcasses wrapped in iron wheels are a serious obsession. The government needs to control livestock closely and build strong fences to avoid further losses. Where horses belong are the vast, free-range prairies of the American West, symbols of the pioneering spirit of the Wild, Free-Roaming Horses and Burros Act of 1971. But in the state of Nevada, more than 50% of the wild horse herd roams unchecked. The livestock industry is alarmed when sheep cross the road without control, causing catastrophic accidents. In Texas, no warning flags cause sheep to collide with trains, leaving farmers in debt. Crossings under the tracks like in the UK reduce the risk by 50%. We can learn from this country. Collisions between trains and flocks of birds, even small ones, can hurt drivers. Bird wounds leave feathers stuck to the windshield, blocking visibility and making train control more difficult. It is recommended to install anti-fouling tempered glass with sensors that detect flocks of birds and activate sound to repel them. A bear collided with a train, causing delays and suspensions on Japan's Yamagata Shinkansen bullet train line. In a separate and remarkable case, a large grizzly bear named the Boss in Banff National Park survived being hit by a train twice, demonstrating remarkable resilience. While the Boss is an exceptional exception, collisions are often dangerous for bears on or near train tracks. Elephants, which weigh an average of 4,000 to 5,000 pounds each, often collide with trains, causing major traffic jams, cancelling dozens of trains and disrupting important migration corridors. Attacks cost millions of dollars each year during the October to March migration season, when elephants forage through the forests of Assam and Bengal. The severity of reindeer train collisions is escalating in Norway, where about 400 reindeer are knocked down each year during their winter migration, disrupting the Arctic Circle Railway. For Norway, the loss is not only about 6,500 reindeer annually, but also an estimated $9,100,000 0 cents USD in damage to the traditional Sami herding industry. When the giant lizard and the king cobra face off. The tug of war is not just about food, but a power struggle where the stronger asserts their territory. A single sting is enough to turn a warning into a death sentence, reminding that this land has no room for human error. The cobra will only let go when its prey retreats from its territory. Otherwise, it will end everything with venom. Unlike other species, mongooses are not afraid of cobras. They dare to confront them because their bodies are resistant to venom and their reflexes are faster than a snake's bite. This species is famous in India, where it was once considered a death-defying beast. If you encounter a snake, do not run straight, run in a zigzag pattern to distract it. The eagle spotted the cobra moving across the grass. Both were alert, neither making the first move. As the distance closed, the eagle swooped down. The snake raised its head in response. The encounter ended quickly. The eagle was at a disadvantage against the cobra's speed and precision. Nature still holds the old rule of survival of the fittest. Throughout China and Africa, the king cobra reigns supreme in the wild. With just one bite, its venom is powerful enough to subdue elephants and even humans. It attacks its own kind in fierce battles for dominance. Even giant pythons retreat. An adult frog can jump at about 12 miles per hour, but its opponent, a green tree snake or a young copperhead, can accelerate to 8 miles per hour, enough to catch its prey in one well-aimed lunge. In the food chain, frogs are a major source of protein, helping snakes sustain their energy during the warm, wet season when frogs thrive. What makes the hunt more fierce is that snakes swim quickly where frogs once thought they were safe. In the middle of a dry Arizona desert afternoon, more than 20,000 live here, making this land a blind spot for safety. They don't need to chase, they just wait to feel the vibrations when birds land. With venom that paralyzes nerves in minutes, rattlesnakes can live for weeks on a single meal. If you happen to step into their territory, don't panic. Don't turn your back, just back away slowly. The desert squirrels are unaware of the danger lurking below. The snakes strike quickly. A single bite is enough to paralyze its prey for 30 seconds. Even with the endurance of a marathon runner, it is difficult for humans to escape. If bitten, the only chance of survival is to seek medical attention as soon as possible, and unless otherwise, I advise you not to go to this harsh land. Why do snakes attack each other? For snakes, territory and food sources are inseparable. Cobras see any other snake as a threat. Pythons, while non-venomous, have strong muscles and a very fast constriction that can overwhelm cobras. Amidst the green foliage, the viper almost disappears. Its skin colour blends with the tree trunk, turning its tranquility into a trap. But that ability is also its limit. When leaving the green environment, the snake is easily detected and loses its advantage. Bushes around the house, if not trimmed neatly, can become an ideal shelter for them. In Africa, where lions and leopards rule, the cobra still holds its own. Competition here leaves no room for compromise. One mistake, one sting of venom, and the strong will pay the price. Even lions are wary. But are you smart enough to stand still when danger is approaching? In recent years, wild boars have moved beyond the forest to the heart of cities, posing a major threat to people and infrastructure. In just a few years, the number of wild boars in Hong Kong has exploded from a mere fringe creature to a menace. From 225 in 2011 to 1,184 in 2019. They are no longer afraid of humans. garbage and leftover food have turned them into city dwellers. A female can give birth to 6 to 15 piglets at a time, and when food is readily available, they breed out of control. People continue to raise them, unaware that this only accelerates the urbanization of the invasive species. The government has had to impose a strict ban with fines of up to $1,275.00 for violators. But is that enough to stop this invasive species? When traditional defences are no longer effective, hunters are forced to find smarter ways to deal with them. The process begins deep in the forest, where hunters carefully set up net traps. An automated corn spreader programmed to release food at the same time every day is placed in the centre. The wild boars are habituated to return to the same feeding spot every day, following a routine they believe to be safe. When the herd regroups and begins feeding, the traps are triggered. There is no gunfire, no dangerous chasers, and no undue stress to the invasive species. Studies have shown that when wild boars are caught with minimal struggle, they are calmer, reducing the risk of injury to the hunter. In previous attempts, areas using net traps have reported a 30 to 40% reduction in agricultural damage from wild boars within a year, demonstrating its potential as a long-term solution. Wild boar hunting in the United States is not just a sport, it's a necessity. With the wild boar population increasing by 20 to 25% annually, wild boars have become one of the country's most destructive invasive species. Tonight, it's not just about hunting, it's about taking back control. Drones with infrared sensors detect wild boar movements from the sky, giving hunters precise locations. Night vision scopes enhance visibility in low light conditions, a necessity since wild boars are most active after sunset. silenced .308 and .30 blackout rifles ensure a quick, humane knockdown with minimal disruption to surrounding wildlife. To combat the crisis, federal and state governments have relaxed regulations on wild boar hunting, recognising the need for strict controls. In many states, there are no population limits or closed hunting seasons, meaning hunters can hunt as much as they want, whenever they want. Some of the most notable policies include no licensing requirements on private land in states like Texas and Oklahoma, allowing landowners to act immediately, bounty programs in select counties, where hunters receive compensation for each wild boar taken. While hunting is the most effective short-term control method, conservationists emphasise the need for long-term solutions, including better habitat management and sterilisation programs. Some experts argue that wild boar hunting alone is not enough without changing food sources and controlling reproduction. Populations will recover faster than they decline. With millions of wild boars still roaming the United States, the fight is far from over. Is hunting enough to stem the crisis, or will we need stronger measures to protect our lands? What do you think? As dawn broke, the hunter walked deep into the forest, where wild boars often hid in the dense undergrowth. With years of experience, he knew that the opportunity to shoot came only in the blink of an eye. herd of boars could scatter immediately after the first shot, requiring absolute precision. Hunters consider their weapon choice carefully. Lighter calibers have their own disadvantages, which require a high level of skill to compensate for. In such situations, they can get a few more follow-up shots with the RF-15 before the herd disappears into the deep woods. Such a gun has a good shoulder grip, less vibration, is easy to handle in a concealed position, and has enough stopping power fast enough to seize the decisive moment. Adding to the mystery of hunting is the legal landscape. In some southern states like Texas, wild hog hunting is widely practiced on private land with few restrictions, while on public land there are still specific permit requirements and restrictions. That's why gun enthusiasts love hog hunting. Wild hogs are not bound by many hunting regulations, meaning you can hunt them with whatever you want. And what do the experts say about hunting wild boar on remote hilltops? It all comes down to the fact that wild boars have excellent hearing and smell, but poor eyesight. That's why stalking wild boars after spotting them from a road or remote hilltop is a popular method. Locating wild boars in open farmland requires a fair amount of time spent looking with a thermal scope. Check water sources frequented by the pigs early in the day and rice paddies in the late evening. They don't stay in one place for long, but with a favourable wind, you can cross open ground towards them within rifle range. The hardest thing every hunter has to overcome on a hunting trip is when a wild boar charges, leaving no room for composure but for reflexes. A 250 plus pound male charges at nearly 30 miles per hour, enough to break a small tree trunk. The hunter doesn't run, he leans, pressed against the tree trunk, waiting for the moment the boar shows its chest. That encounter is a fine line between experience and instinct. During the hunting season, thanks to his skills of dodging and choosing the right angle, he has brought down 17 adult wild boars and returned home safely. Every hunt has its reasons. Wild hogs were brought to America for display and sport, but humans misjudged their survival power. They tore through fences, overturned trash cans, and tore through gardens and park lawns. A herd of more than 30 once swarmed through a residential area in San Antonio, Texas, causing panic and car crashes. Hunting became the only way to control them, but greed and the thrill of hunting made things worse, with many people deliberately releasing hogs into new areas to have something to hunt. This war is not just against wild hogs, but a wake-up call about how out of control humans have become. We must stop the spread and indiscriminate hunting and learn to restore balance instead of just pulling the trigger. Today we explore Australia's outback, a vast and ragged land shaped by millions of years of nature. Here, survival requires skill, respect, and an understanding of the environment. Join a veteran hunter in his 50s as he takes us on a buffalo hunt in this harsh wilderness. For these men who value hard work and tradition, this story reveals the deep connection between man and nature. The Australian outback spans more than 2.5 million square miles, a landscape of red sand plains, cliffs, and sparse vegetation formed over 3 billion years as ancient seabeds rose and eroded. Its arid climate, with temperatures often exceeding 100 to GFF, supports only the hardiest plants, like spinifex grass and drought-resistant wattle. Seasonal rains create temporary wetlands in the Northern Territory where water buffalo thrive. These wetlands, surrounded by pandanus and paperbark trees, are home to a diverse range of wildlife, including kangaroos, wallabies, dingoes, and over 200 species of birds. This ecosystem, both fragile and resilient, shapes the lives of all species, including the buffalo. This hunter is no stranger to danger. Born and raised in the Northern Territory, he has been tracking buffalo since he was a boy, learning from his father and the Indigenous elders who know the land like the back of their hands. The water buffalo, brought to Australia in the 1,820 settlers to support the first settlers, now number more than 150,000 in the wild, their heavy hooves tearing through the fragile wetlands. Dawn was breaking, tinting the sky red as the hunter shouldered his rifle and entered the brush. The air was tense, every rustle a potential threat. Buffalo were unpredictable beasts, 1,500 pounds of muscle and horns that could charge without warning. The hunter had spent years tracking these beasts and knew the dangers they posed. You know that life doesn't give second chances, and here, a single misstep could be fatal. A large hoof print, a broken branch, and a faint scent of musk on the wind would lead the hunter to the buffalo's hiding place. There, 200 yards away stood a lone buffalo. This was the moment when skill met instinct, where a man's worth was measured by a single strike. The hunter took a deep breath, carefully positioning himself against the wind to avoid detection. With years of experience guiding his every move, he found a solid footing. He waited patiently for the buffalo, then took clean, humane aim at the vital organs to ensure a quick kill. The victory was the hunter's. The haul told its own story. One buffalo provided up to 400 pounds of lean, protein-rich meat, enough to feed a community for weeks. As the team loaded the meat onto their worn truck, a quiet satisfaction settled over them. Later that night, around the flickering campfire, the scent of grilled meat mingled with eucalyptus smoke. The hunter leaned back, grounded by the land that gave so much. Here, taking meant giving back. The hunt was not merely about survival, it was about preservation. Buffalo numbers left unchecked threatened fragile ecosystems and native species. Controlled hunts like these, which removed 10,000 buffalo in 2024 alone, eased that pressure and helped restore balance to the land. This hunt is not only a physical challenge, but also a journey connecting people with nature, with the core values of life. So what do you think about the spirit of resilience and respect for Mother Earth in hunts like this? Have you ever experienced any challenges that made you stronger?